Hello, everyone. Check, check, check. All right. All right, ready? 3, 2. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Park Views with Brad Hughes. I am your host of the show, Brad Hughes, and I'm joined today with a very special guest who used to do this with me all the time back when it was just a Disney Parks podcast, and then we moved into Star Wars, and honestly, you didn't know too much about Star Wars to be able to talk about it on that level.
Still don't.
I'm joined by my cohort in life, Holly Roos. Holly, what's up, kid?
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, magical. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's freezing in here.
I know. We had a wonderful night at Hollywood Studios. And
We did.
Didn't sweat for the first time in how long?
Yeah, it's nice out. Like it's weird that it's like nice at Disney.
Yep.
You're not sweating the second you walk outside. We wanted to do a podcast today because there's just been a ton of Disney news. Today specifically, there's been a ton of stuff. Let's start here. I guess they're kind of shifting the focus of this to the 50th, but there are Disney World Happy Meal toys coming to McDonald's starting officially on November 17th.
Or last night if you live
In
Orlando
near the convention center. I know two people who went over at midnight and got the entire set last night, which was really, really cool.
Heck yeah.
These toys are really cool. It's also really cool that they're doing something Disney World focused on a national scale like this. Like they're going to be at all McDonald's, and like the fact like a little Tower of Terror toy is going to be in like Idaho. It's just cool to me.
Yep. And just something kind of funny that we noticed. So on the boxes, there's a sweepstakes inside each package of the toy, and it says you have to enter by 8/31/20. So I'm guessing they were trying to put this out when the ride came out back right before everything closed down.
Yeah, I mean, like I have the Happy Meal box up there now.
And it says, please ignore the date
please
on the
ignore
toys.
the date of the toy.
It's actually December or something like
So,
that. But
yeah, I didn't really remember that it opened in March,
that
right?
was this year.
Didn't Mickey Minnie open in March, or was it?
Yeah, because not a lot of people got on it before the shutdown.
I remember Josh and Don didn't
Your
get on
dad
it.
didn't even
My
get
dad
on
didn't
it.
get on
Yeah.
either. It's so weird. It's just so strange. So there are a ton of these toys. There's 10 in total. I'm going to go through the list of all of them for you first. They're numbered. So toy number 1 is Goofy, but it's Goofy from Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and he is riding in like the little choo-choo train. The second toy, which is the one I got, so we actually ended up buying, because our kids are going to love these. My kids are going to love these. Our kids, my kids, whatever. They're going to love these. And this is actually the toy I got in the actual Happy Meal that I bought yesterday, because we bought just the toys themselves, and then we bought 2 other ones because I wanted the boxes. And I know if I let my kids do that, they'll rip the box up, and it'll be a nightmare. So the second one is Mickey Mouse in his Mission Space attraction, which I was under the impression that was Astro Blast or the jets, but it's Mission Space. Number 3 is Minnie Mouse from the dinosaur attraction, and you can see Aladar sitting in the back of her car there. Number 4 is Pluto from Jungle Cruise. Number 5 is Goofy from Expedition Everest. Number 6 is the Mickey Mouse at the Tower of Terror. Number 7 is Minnie Mouse on a pirate ship for Pirates of the Caribbean. Number 8 is Donald Duck from the Mad Tea Party. Number 9 is Daisy Duck with Soaring Around the World, and Spaceship Earth she's kind of flying over that. And then number 10 is Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse from Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway inside the little red car. Holly, of all these, which one's your favorite? I think I know.
What do you think?
I think I know, but Tower of Terror.
It's just adorable. Mickey. It's Mickey in it or Minnie?
It's just Mickey.
It's Mickey, and he has, if you push him out in the back, he drops and he's got his hands up.
Mine's actually the Donald Duck one.
Really?
I think it's just cool. The detailing on it's really cool.
Oh, the teacup where he's got like the dizzy eyes.
Yeah, I just think it's a cool little thing. Like I said, this is a really cool thing that they're doing worldwide. I think nationwide, I should say. And I'm a big fan of it. All right, moving on to the next next story here. There have been some more Christmas overlays, this time over at Epcot, a park we never go to. But now I have a reason to go because they put a Christmas sweater on my boy Figment. And I was trying really hard not to see this until we saw it in person, and you made me look at it. And you're a terrible person because you love spoilers.
Yes.
Like you will seriously look at an ending.
Not for movies or anything like that, but
we live here. Like,
I know.
why couldn't you just hear like, oh, Figment has a sweater on, then we just go ride the ride?
Like, I know we're talking about Disney, but I was looking at the Universal Christmas stuff, and you made me put my phone away. But like,
we're going this week.
I know, but I want to be prepared. Like, what do I want to try? What do I want to see? There's so many different things. And now we know about Earl the squirrel, so you're welcome.
Well, there's things like you can look at the food. That's not a spoiler.
Yeah.
But like you were looking at the Christmas walkthrough.
I know.
I'm like, stop. We're going to see it because I don't know what it was. I just saw a big nutcracker
We're
face.
supposed to go tomorrow morning, so.
Do you still want to go tomorrow morning, or do you want to wait until it's dark?
We'll see.
But the sweater is awesome, and there's I've seen a lot of people online saying they want Figment's sweater, and I'm with them because it's blue, and it's got the Journey to Imagination logo on the front of it. Sorry, I had yawned. On the front of it there, and it looks really cute.
Now, do you want it the quarter zip style like he's got on, or like the crew neck?
No, I want the quarter zip. I want to look just like Figment. I love how Epcot has embraced the logos again. Like they really just went full clip coming back with the logos. What are you doing over there?
Nothing.
Okay, stop. We're doing this now. You looking at Christmas stuff on Universal?
No.
It looks super, super cute, and I really, really like it. Moving on to... there's a notice of routine Magic Kingdom fireworks test tonight.
Yep.
When was that?
Tonight?
When?
They announced it a few days ago.
It's 10 o'clock.
Yeah. I think it's around midnight, or they're going to be done by midnight, but yes.
Huh. So they'll be shooting fireworks off? I guess they have to try to keep all that stuff
Yep.
going,
Whether
right?
they're testing
So
things
we can hear the fireworks and see them every night from where we live. So
it's kind of jarring that we're not used to it. And
Yeah, I
SeaWorld
know.
was doing it every weekend for a while, and we were the first weekend they were like, "What the heck is that?" Like, oh, we live in Orlando.
we finally got our first look. No, moving on to the next story here. We finally got our first look inside Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Did you see this?
Yes. So, little background: Josh D'Amaro was gave a general session on Disney today, correct? At IAPA,
Yeah.
on the virtual. And I just want to say, how bad does that poor man look? He usually is just on it and looks fantastic, and he just looks so beat down and disheartened. But
there's a lot of stuff going on.
he talked about some exciting things and stayed positive, and
he's really good at that.
I can't wait to see that ride.
I mean, I can't either. This is the one that I'm most excited about. Like, I'm really excited for Tron too, but we already know what that's going to be.
They didn't bring that up today.
Yeah, there's no need to. It's not. IAPA's like for new stuff. It's not new.
Yeah.
The technology is not new, but this is. This looks really cool. The picture is kind of like a lights on view, and the track looks different.
It kind of looks like a Space Mountain.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking because I'm seeing it now for the first time, and it looks like I think this is going to be a really cool attraction. I'm hoping the theme isn't just dark, like Space Mountain is. Like dark isn't a theme. Just like at Animal Kingdom and Pandora, trees are not a theme.
When do you think we'll see it?
For the 50th. They'll save this for the 50th.
So just a little less than a year?
Yeah. I mean, you'll probably see this I would guess August next year is when they'll be, because that's when they'll start really kicking into high gear for the 50th.
Yep.
August. I think because that's like a slow time normally. It'll get a lot of people to come down. I'm really excited for this. The ride vehicles look so cool. Granted, it's concept art, but it just looks really cool. And I think this is going to be a really, really fun attraction. Of all the new things that are coming out, so we'll just kind of go through them real quick. The big ones are Remy, the Ratatouille ride, Tron, and Cosmic Rewind. Of those three, which are you most excited for?
Probably Cosmic Rewind.
Me too.
I'm excited for Remy just because it looks adorable, but it's not anything to write home
They're saying it's going to open in 2021. We know that.
Yep.
Do you have a prediction for Remy opening?
Good to say, like the podcast we were listening to earlier when they said January, February, kind of when you need to grab people back because it's not holidays anymore. It's not a festival anymore.
I think you would do February.
Yeah. I mean,
late
you have
February.
Festival of the Arts, but that doesn't really
That's
draw
not
the crowd like Food and Wine.
No, it's not the
we
same
love
kind
it,
of thing.
but
Yeah, I'm thinking February for that. I'm really excited about that. Even reason to go to Epcot now.
and just the whole new section back in France that they're adding the
It's super
creperie,
cute.
and it's just going to be a
A
fun
new
little
vibe
addition.
there. This is something I'm excited about. and I've actually famously been on Jedi Talk not excited about this, but now that it's coming to reality, I'm getting more excited about this. We have our first look of the interior of Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser hotel room. And we got some extra concept art there.
It looks claustrophobic, those rooms.
Yeah, so this picture is actually, it's very small.
I don't know that I would be able to.
I don't know if I'd be able to do it. I mean, do you think it's just one? I mean, it
you
can't
don't
be
have
as
a real
small as
window,
it looks.
so you're just.
It can't be as small as it looks, can it? Because
Yeah.
this picture
Think
is.
how small a cruise cabin is.
Yeah, but it's not really the reason it's small on a cruise ship is because it's a ship. There's only a certain amount of place you can do this. This is an
a
actual
ship too,
but
Brad.
it's an actual building. You could make these rooms bigger. That is taken from the bunk bed.
Yeah,
that
they
is
had to crawl into the bunk bed to try to get the whole room.
Tiny.
Yeah,
That is so small.
yeah.
And as much as they're charging for this, I thought the
$2,000 a
rooms
night
would be
or
bigger
whatever
than
it's
this.
Yep.
They don't have bigger rooms? Like, do they think they'll have like 2 or 3 different
They'll have
sizes?
suites. I bet
think
it'll
so?
be like a captain's or whatever they would call it in Star
admiral's
Wars.
quarters?
Yeah.
I love the color scheme. I love how it looks like the back of Rise of the Resistance. It's literally exactly what it looks like.
Yeah. I
on
mean,
the
we
IT
drive
shuttle.
by it how many times a week, and those windows are
small.
so slim
They're
to
very
each
small.
room. So
But like, what do those look out to?
it's probably just the screen. But just looking at how close together those windows are tells you how big the rooms are.
Yeah. I want to go back and now that I've seen this and look.
That's
Actually,
not very big.
there's no table. There's. I mean, okay, is that a slide out table? I guess that's a slide
Do
out
you
table
share
in the
a
far
bathroom
back.
like a college dorm? Or
I don't know. I mean, it's small. I like the aesthetic of it though. It looks Star Warsy.
yeah.
But that room is
But
tiny.
it looks like you're sending the kids to summer camp, and this is where they're staying.
It's small. It really is really close though to the concept art. I mean, if you look at the concept art there,
And is
that
the
is
building
really-
that they have built, are they eventually going to expand? Because it looks just like a Motel 6 size, small.
that's what it looks like. It looks like a Holiday Inn
lane.
Express
Yep.
size room. I mean, I want to see the bathroom. I'm always obsessed with Star Wars bathrooms for whatever reason.
Yep.
That was like the first thing I did when I went to Galaxy's Edge was I want to see the bathroom.
And what did you think? Did they
I was impressed.
exceed your
It's very cool.
expectations?
I mean, like that's so small. Look, there's 2 people in the room, and I know they're drawn, but that is small. And it's got to be to scale.
Also, you wouldn't fit in that bunk bed. It looks
Oh,
so
no
tiny.
chance. That's for kids, which is a bummer.
But what if, there's got to be other options for rooms, because what if you're a family of 4 that nobody's going to fit in those bunk beds?
I
Just
hope they
seems
didn't like
so
niche
tiny.
themselves into something that's not going to work.
I'd hope
They
they're
have
smarter
to know
than
that, right? Like they have to
I
know.
hope they're smarter than that.
So is this something you'd want to do?
Not really.
Like, would it be something
I'd
you would
rather-
go with me to do, or would it be something that you'd be like, you and Evan go, and I don't need to go?
I feel like it would be a cool experience, but I'd rather go stay at the yacht club for a few nights. I mean,
You're so bougie.
now that you've experienced that, I feel like you'd agree.
That hotel room we had for your birthday was unreal.
Yeah.
You want to tell that story? People who don't know that story?
Go for it.
No, go ahead.
Oh, so for my 30th birthday, we booked my favorite resort to stay on property is the yacht club. Their club level is just the best, in my opinion, across property. Brad's never stayed club level at any of the resorts, right?
Correct.
And we've done a couple of them, and this is by far the best. But someone, a couple of days before we checked in, went over there and kind of gave him a heads up. It's my birthday, yada, yada, yada. We're staying a couple nights to just celebrate. She's turning 30. So we get there on the day of check-in, and we get did we even go to the desk? I don't remember.
No.
They just give us our room number. And so we go upstairs, and we get down the hallway, all the way at the end of the hallway, and it's these double doors, and we walk in, and it walks you into just like a normal guest room,
Yeah.
which is then attached to this humongous suite, and it's got a living room, another bedroom, 2 other bathrooms, this wraparound balcony, this dining room that when you're looking at the Yacht and Beach Club, those turrets, that was the dining room for our suite. It was just unbelievable. And
it was a 3-bedroom suite.
Yeah. And that
It was massive. It felt like 4 rooms put together. It was crazy.
Incredible.
I just don't know if you're going to get that with this.
Fantastic.
Like this size stuff. There's other concepts that, like I said, that had been released. I think we've seen some of this before. I know we have, actually. So you get the entrance of the Galactic Star Cruiser.
So how do you think that's going to connect people? Because I know they were saying one of the things was it's seamless to Galaxy's Edge, right?
Yes.
Am I crazy?
No, that's something they had said before.
So is it going to be a walkway, a shuttle?
I have an idea.
Because it's across you still have to cross the street to get to Galaxy's Edge. But
It's either going to be a very short themed bus ride. I think they'll have something the way there's nothing really like it, but I think that they're going to do something where like you get on a bus and that bus has the screened windows for the passengers.
Yeah.
And there's like a seal off from but
so
it looks
still not looking out a real window.
Yeah. There's no real outside at this hotel ever until you're on
Batuu. I would
2.
like that. That would freak me out.
I see. I'm claustrophobic, so I don't know. Are you okay, Duncan? I don't know how I would do, but I'm gonna find out. But I think they're just gonna have some sort of windows. You get on the bus, and then there's like a thing that shuts, so you can't see out the front windshield, so you're not looking at the back of Galaxy's Edge. Because that's one thing that's gonna be tricky about this. It backs up to Galaxy's Edge. If you guys don't know where this is laid out near World Drive,
directly
backing
behind.
up to the backside of the Millennium Falcon show building. They're back to back. So make sure you have that light close to your mouth. You got to have it close. You can raise it up if you want to.
Go ahead.
That's not going to be close enough. That'll be close enough. Good. All right, ready? 3, 2.
Welcome to The Price is Right.
Huh? What'd you say?
He said, today on The Price is Right.
3, 2. All right. Sorry, we had to take our dog inside. He was not happy. We do the podcast in the garage, and he wasn't having it. And he ran out of the garage because the garage door was cracked to keep the air conditioning unit up. And he just was one day. He's like, all right, I'm done.
He's much happier now.
So he's inside comfy. So have you seen the other concept art for the Galactic Star Cruiser?
What other concept?
This
the one you were
concept
showing
art.
me at dinner?
Well,
Yes.
all of it. Have you seen all of it?
Yes.
Okay.
It
So-
seems very small and very not COVID guideline friendly.
Well, that's what's funny. I was talking to someone on Facebook who was commenting about it, and I was like, I bet anything you will not see this until COVID is no longer an issue.
Until it's clear. Yep.
They're not going to risk this.
They can't.
They can't. It's going to be such a small amount of people there anyway. Or maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's such a small amount of people that it won't make a huge difference.
Well, it's only
but
what? How many rooms?
it's like less than 100, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like 50 or 60.
Yep.
It's something really, really small. But there's a lot of interactivity here. There's stormtroopers and first order people. There's Chewie loading stuff up.
No masks.
No mask back in the good old days. And then there's the bridge. I think this is going to be cool. I'm just not so sure this is going to be something that will sustain your interest on the ship. Because if I'm there, I have no interest in going to Batuu.
Right.
I want to use it like a cruise ship. And so is this something you think that's going to be an all-inclusive? Are they going to have food there?
They said that.
They did? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember all the details.
They said it's all included.
So can I just stay on the ship and eat?
I guess.
Like I would if I was on the
Does
cruise?
that also mean my admission to Galaxy's Edge is included?
I think when you go there, the only thing you're going to have this is something for just Star Wars fans.
Right.
This is not something where you would go with your family if you want to also spend 3 days at Magic Kingdom, 2 days at Epcot.
No. This is for the nerds.
This is for going to Galaxy's Edge, go into this, and that's it.
Yep.
Outside the window here, there are X-Wing and TIE fighters. So I'm assuming that you're going to be commanding or playing a part of, or maybe controlling these X-Wings to shoot these TIE fighters down.
Maybe.
Looks really cool. There's Rebellion officers there, Resistance officers there. Everyone's in costume, and that was something we had heard, that they're going to give you clothes to change into while you're there.
I don't think that's going to be a thing now.
You don't think so?
This whole COVID thing's really put a different spin on the world, because it's nobody thought about that before.
But that's fair thing to say. But you're in a hotel. You're on.
This could also not be opening for 2 more years, so who knows where we'll be.
This was supposed to be open for the 50th.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, it's not even closed in completely yet as a building.
No, but I think it's just all theming at this point. I mean, all the electrical. It's small. The only reason it's taking this long is because of COVID.
And it's a lot of screens.
Yeah, and I think they're waiting to see how the Space 220 restaurant does.
I'm so excited for that.
Which looks really cool. I'm really excited. A year late, but that's fine.
Slight
there's
delay.
also 2 other pictures I wanted to show you here. There's one where it looks like this is going to be a playground / level in the game. That's kind of how I'm describing all these things, level in the game, where there's a bunch of kids and there's a resistance, or it's not resistance, I guess, because you're on the halcyon, so it's like like cruise instructors showing these kids like in the steam or steerage room. What's that?
The heck? Like the engineering?
Yeah, and like she's handing this kid like the boiler room. There we go. She's handing this kid like a wrench, and he's like standing there like, wait, give me the thing. We gotta fix this. And there's steam coming out everywhere, and then there's one kid crawling through the stuff. So like,
interesting.
Working.
Yep. You're also going to be working.
I'm going to be working on vacation. It's pretty interesting. And then there's, of course, the lightsaber training, which could be cool. It doesn't look like a Savi's lightsaber. At least not one that I've seen before. That could be a lot of fun. I'm curious how that's going to work. I'm curious. I'm more curious than excited about this, if that makes any sense. And I am, by all means, their demographic for this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I love the theming of Batuu. I feel like they didn't go quite far enough with the theming. And I think a lot of that's going to get fixed here. I'm very curious to see if we get the restaurant here, the sit-down restaurant. I think you're going to have to.
Well, they're going to have different options, I would assume, a quick serve in a restaurant if you're feeding all these people.
So how's that going to work? Are you going to have...
But also, are you going to be able to dine there if I'm not staying there?
Absolutely not. I'll bet anything no.
So if you want to see this hotel, you have to
I mean,
stay
we can't even
here.
get to Art of Animation right now.
Yep.
We tried to go to Art of Animation today to pick up a quick serve meal, and they're all like, no, we're not allowing people into the resort right now. And I was like, but we bought food. And they're like, yep, you can cancel it.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
very off-putting today. So heads up if that's anybody's game.
And then there's two more pictures I want to show you. This room looks much bigger than the other one we saw. And I'm wondering if it was just like a weird angular photo that we saw in the first room. But before we do that, I want to go back to this picture. This picture shows a cantina in the background. Really cool looking.
Yep.
I'm wondering if it's going to have new drinks. You know, different. It would have to have different drinks if you're going to also to Oga's and stuff.
I would think they want you to go everywhere with
and
something
then
different.
The main focus of this, well, there's the R2 unit back there, by the way, rolling through. I think they're going to have roaming droids here.
Well, that's easier because it's contained.
Yeah, it's not outside, and it's not a bunch of heathens that are messing with them. But the main part of this is they're playing sabacc, but it's like hologram sabacc.
Oh, so it's like a slot machine?
Look at it. No, look at it. Here, I'm gonna hand you the laptop. Look at it.
Oh, yeah. This is what you were saying. You think it's going to be a screen?
Yeah, I think they're going to do it the way they do like Pepper's Ghost Effects, because if you look in the middle of the table, there's like a hologram projector, and I think it's just going to shoot up into glass. And so it looks really cool, like it's floating there, but I don't think it's going to be floating necessarily. I think it'll look cool. There's also a Twi'lek. I think it's a Twi'lek.
Just makes me
purple
nervous
Twi'lek.
with all the blue sky ideas they had for Galaxy's Edge and then not much.
I think it's because they shifted that focus of the interactivity to this. Because
But there's so much in the land that they didn't do.
Yes, but I'm saying it's because it went here. And I think it went here because it's easier to contain, and it's not this massive disappointment.
It's not every single day guest that comes in that can do it.
Exactly. It's not being done 58,000 times a day. You know, the droids aren't being touched 24 hours a day by 8,000 people. I don't know. I am, like I said, curious, not excited. It's weird to say that because I'm such a big fan of Star Wars, and I'm just like, I'm not that excited.
No.
I'm just kind of like, okay. But what do you guys think? If you're listening to this, go to Instagram and let me know what you think, if you are interested in this or not. Next up, we have our first look at Space 220 interior at Epcot. Kind of an underwhelming picture, if you ask me.
It's the same picture that I feel like they've been showing. They're just getting a little more realistic.
Well, no, this is an
actual picture.
Actual picture. It's not the rendering.
But that's exactly that rendering, but just a real picture of it now.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something you have to experience.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's one of those things like pictures are just not going to do it justice. Yep. This could freak me out. I could be shaking while I'm eating.
Good.
I think this is a cool thing for Epcot. The last thing Epcot needs is more restaurants, in my opinion, because they have just so many of them already.
But this is something so different.
It's something different, but it's adding a restaurant into Future World, which is the first time this has happened in a long, long time. And not only is it making adding a restaurant into Future World, it's making the Space Pavilion an actual pavilion, which is something that Epcot hasn't done in a long time. It hasn't had a cohesive pavilion feel, where like when you get off Spaceship Earth, that kind of does, and then of course the land does. But short of that,
well, Test Track has the Cool Wash.
well, Test Track does have the where you can talk to the GM people about buying a Corvette.
Yeah, and then you can go get an icy at the Cool Wash. I mean, that's a pavilion.
But see, that's not even inside it. That's outside. So like
this
the
is
last
attached.
time, do what?
This is attached.
Yeah.
To
So it's like it's. I do wish though there was a counter service version. So if you couldn't get into like have the food just be like phenomenal at Space 220, and then have like a counter service version where you could like.
There'll always be the bar that you might be able to go into. I mean, probably not right now, but
There's a bar there?
Yeah, there's bar pictures in the concept art with like the whole wall.
Well, do you think that might just be for people who were there?
I don't know. That's one of those restaurants I'm gonna want to get in and eat as soon as I can.
Oh yeah,
after opening
day for sure. That's gonna be one we do. I mean, it's a year late. I mean, this was supposed to open last.
because they were hiring
December.
last year in like September, October. They were posting the jobs because it's the same group that owns Maria and Enzo's Patina. And their food's good, so that gives me hope for this. What kind of food do you think we're gonna see? And I'm surprised we haven't seen any menu information.
I don't know.
You think it's gonna be like steakhouse?
I don't think it'll be that fancy. I think it'll be like American type food.
Kind of like a bar.
You get like a
tavern
burger.
food.
I mean, I would hope it's more themed than that, but.
What do you theme? Space ice cream?
Yes, that's the thing. I don't know.
We'll see.
Have you heard about this new Windows to the Wild?
What is that?
This is a new. We're moving on to the next story here. This is a new augmented, not virtual, augmented reality experience coming to Disney's Animal Kingdom. There's not a lot of information on it. There's just some pictures of the
Where
goggles
is it going?
It is. There's literally nothing in this article.
Just was
I
briefly
love
mentioned,
Mike
basically.
from Blog Mickey, but there's nothing about this. This is just saying that it's happening. I'll read you the entire text of the entire article. You ready?
I'm ready.
In a virtual conference, Disney CTO Talik Mandati announced a program coming to Disney's Animal Kingdom called Windows to the Wild. While the augmented reality experience isn't available yet, Disney is... And it refreshed. What's happening here? While the augmented reality experience isn't available yet, Disney is working on bringing guests closer to the animals. Here's a look at what the AR experience will utilize 360-degree cameras and in animal habitats to bring guests even closer to the action. So do you know the difference between augmented reality and virtual reality?
No.
So augmented reality is like a Snapchat filter where it's something that goes over
the reality.
alters what you actually see. Virtual reality is completely rendered by a machine. Mandati did not say when the experience would debut to guests. As always, keep checking back with us here at blogmonkey.com as we continue to bring you the latest and photos from around the Disney parks. That's the entire article.
That's something brand new that's never been mentioned before.
It's really cool. It'll give you a reason to go to Animal Kingdom, but again, this is going to be one of those things that's not going to debut until after COVID because it's a augmented reality. Do you think, speaking of augmented and virtual reality, is the Void going to come back?
I thought they're done for good.
No, I don't think so.
Pretty sure they closed up shop here, but I don't know. That was really cool.
Secrets. I'm so upset we only did it once. It was one of the things we kept saying, we'll do it again, and then we just never did.
And then COVID.
So fun. Moving on to the next story here. Disney has fast-tracked development of Princess and the Frog Overhaul Splash Mountain.
Permanently closed in August.
Really?
Yes.
According to who?
According to a couple different news websites.
Is it the one that I don't like?
It's a couple.
Okay. That's a bummer. Because I heard that wasn't the case.
Employees of the location were informed. Yep.
That was before COVID.
And the Disneyland one's already closed too.
Really?
Yep.
That's a bummer. In a virtual conference today, Disney Parks Chairman Josh D'Amaro had a bunch of news, but he talked about a wide variety of topics. He also gave some updates on construction projects taking around the theme parks, and one of them is they are fast-tracking Princess and the Frog.
So does that mean it kind of skips ahead all the other projects?
No, I think they're just reiterating, like, hey, this isn't going to not happen because of COVID. I literally think that's all this was. It gave us the same concept art. I don't think this is new. I'm really excited. Oh, they do have some new concept art,
I think this
actually.
is going to be really fun.
Oh, no, this is just
change.
zoomed in concept art. Splash Mountain is my second favorite attraction of all time.
But I
Third.
think a
Sorry,
refresher
third.
will be good.
I think so too. I just kind of wish they were keeping one of them.
They're changing with Disneyland too?
Yeah, they're both getting changes.
Yeah, that would have been smart to keep one.
I totally get why they're not. It is not even for like the racism part of it, because that movie is terribly racist. Like I say this all the time. There was a character in the movie called Tar Baby. Like, it doesn't get much more racist than that.
Yep.
Like, that's not even like calling it a black kid or like saying something minor. That's really racist and horrible that's in a Disney movie. So it doesn't make sense for them to keep it in for that reason. You can't see the movie. It's not available anywhere. It's almost become like its own thing. Like Splash Mountain, to me, even though I know it's based on Song of the South, has never felt like an attraction based on Song of the South. I've seen the movie. It doesn't feel like it. Splash Mountain feels like its own thing.
Yeah.
I'm sad it's going, but I'm excited. If I had to pick a replacement, this would have been top for me.
Perfect.
I mean, it's perfect. I mean, the theming's a little weird here because it's Frontierland.
But like you and I were talking about the other day at Magic Kingdom, the whole...
Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah,
I don't work for Disney anymore. Let's talk about it.
You think they're kind of eyeing to change Pecos Bill.
I know they're eyeing to change Pecos Bill.
Yep.
I don't think I know for a fact. I talked to an Imagineer. So I used to work on the guest experience team at Magic Kingdom. And one morning was setting up early. This was early when I first started working there. And it was way before the park opened. And a guy came out from backstage, which if you knew where this location is, you have to be fairly high up to be able to park back there. And he came out where the parade route starts. And he walks up and he's got on, the reason I started talking to him in the first place was I saw the name tag and I saw his ID that he had on. And I saw a Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Project Lead hat, baseball hat. And I go, hey, this was like before Disneyland had even opened. I mean, this was like February, I think. It was cold out, I remember. And I go, hey, is Galaxy's Edge as cool as I'm hoping it's going to be? I'm a huge Star Wars fan. He goes, dude, it's going to blow your mind. Like, it's unreal. And he starts talking to me, still talking to me, but he's taking a camera out and taking pictures of Pecos Bill. And I was like, oh, cool. So, like, what are you doing today? He's like, just getting some reference photos for Pecos Bill. And I was like, okay. And I was like, are there changes coming? I started like probing the guy and he's like, I can't really say. And so he was like, thanks, have a great day though. And I was like, you too, man, have a good one. Because then guests started coming in.
But it would take more than just to change the restaurant. It'd be like a whole overhaul of that strip of...
No, it wouldn't. It'd be such an easy change. That restaurant's so loosely themed anyway. You wouldn't.
No, I know, but I'm saying if you want to change... You don't think they'd change Frontierland in its entirety. You're saying just that little... Have her restaurant
they
near...
might change Frontierland.
But to what?
Critter Country?
Yeah.
You could change it to New Orleans Square easily with that. I mean, it'd be weird, but...
Because you have so many things that fit into Frontierland, though.
But
like
most
Liberty
of those...
Tree.
You could just make it its
Hall
own
of
land.
Presidents.
You could just make it New Orleans
Just
Square.
leave that Liberty Square down there.
Make it Liberty Square and make Frontierland that part from Country Bears, or from, what's the restaurant? Golden Horseshoe to Big Thunder Mountain. That's Frontierland now.
Yeah.
Because I think they're going to change it to Tiana's Place. That's what I'm getting at here.
Yeah.
As I think that this whole thing was decided years ago.
Quick serve?
Yes. They're going to do a quick serve Tiana's Place.
I mean, they've slowly been destroying Pecos Bill when first we removed the taco salad.
Oh, God. That was the nail in the coffin for me.
And then the cheese.
Your favorite? Then my favorite thing, the nacho cheese. You know my favorite snack used to be, ever told you this?
What?
I'd go in and like order like a drink or something or fries, and then I would just get like as many pickles as I could and dip it in the nacho chees.
Oh,
I know it sounds disgusting.
You're the reason they got rid of the free cheese.
I know it sounds
sauce.
disgusting. It was so good.
Oh.
But yeah, I am convinced beyond convinced that I just don't see them changing that ride and leaving that other stuff up. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense for them. Then Disney's really good. Say what you want about them right now, but they are still really good at
seamlessly tying things together.
And I don't just see them changing that one thing and still calling it Frontierland. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
It would be a pretty... I mean, you'd have to do it at the same time you're doing this. You could just throw a construction wall up over...
How long do you
all
think
that
Splash
stuff.
will be closed for?
2 years.
When do you think it'll start?
After the 50th.
Really? It sounds like they're
fast tracking it, but I don't think they're going to want to have
maybe on the back end getting
Splash
things
Mountain.
ready to go in.
Yeah. Fabricating and
Making
getting ready
animatronics.
because I just don't. I could be way off on this, but I just don't see them celebrating the 50th without Splash Mountain.
Yeah.
Like that seems weird.
Yeah.
To have
one
like
of your
that
biggest attractions closed.
closed during your 50th celebration seems very odd to me. All right, moving on to the next story here. The Genie app. Remember this announcement at D23 2 years ago?
Yep, and
Was
then
that
it
2
just
years
kind
ago
of
or a
went
year
under
ago?
the rug. 2 years ago.
It's back. Josh DeMar talked about it today at the IAPA thing. Do you know much about this? Because I don't
No.
know much about it. To me, it seems like Disney's adopting touring plans.
That's what you said when they first announced this. And the funny thing is, back when I worked there on the IT side, Genie was part of the ticketing system, without going into too much detail, that reported whether you had issues getting in the park or not. That was called Genie. So now that they're calling something for guest interface Genie is funny to me. But
So I'm going to read you what Blog Mickey said about it because I honestly don't know too much about Disney Genie.
it seems like MDX, My Disney Experience, but like backpedaling, where it's like, here, we suggest these fast passes for you and this.
It seems like an unupdate of My Disney Experience.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like backpedaling.
This is what Disney said about the app. Quote, "You ain't never had a friend like this," unless you know anybody who goes to the parks. That's my adding there.
Unless you've been here.
Moments ago at D23 2019, details were unveiled by Disney Parks Experience, blah, 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 Bob Chapek for a Disney Genie, a revolutionary new digital offering that will debut in late 2020. Whoops. That will enhance the way you plan for an experience a trip to Walt Disney World Resort.
Wait, stand by. Is this something you're going to have to pay for?
Don't know. I would assume. Joining other innovations like the Magic Band, Disney Genie is being designed to help you make the most out of your visit, whether you're a first-time guest or a seasoned pro. Disney
Why would I need
guests
help?
will make Disney Genie will make planning easier and more fun by providing customized itineraries geared to your interests, right at your fingertips. This is touring plans.
This is also My Disney Experience.
This is touring plans and original MDX.
Mm-hmm.
From a royal princess themed day at Magic Kingdom to a trip around the world at Epcot for foodies and even a perfect day for thrill seekers. Certain features of Disney Genie will also be available through your preferred travel professional. Sometimes you may know exactly what you want to do, but may not know the best time or an order in which to do it. Touring plans. Lynn should be suing them over this.
So they're trying to spread people out.
Yeah. You'll be able to tell Disney Genie what you'd like to experience, and it will quickly evaluate millions of options, to present you with an optimal day. And best of all, it's flexible. Not free. If you change your mind for any reason, Disney Genie will re-optimize your day. They're even using touring plans lingo. It's the optimizer, the touring plans optimizer. Lynn should be furious. I haven't talked to him about this. I can't imagine he's happy. He does have the biggest Disney website that isn't DisneyWorld.com.
They're trying to replicate it, basically.
Unless he sold it off or something, which he hasn't said, and I don't think he ever would. But this is such weird.
It sounds like
so
they're
weird.
making it so complicated. Like, I know they're trying to pitch it as streamlining, but I don't
now go back to My Disney Experience and link your tickets.
Right.
Then come back to the Disney Genie app.
And we'll tell you if your tickets are good for what you could do for Princess Day.
It will tell you, ooh, sorry, there's nothing we can do for Rise of the Resistance.
Well, the thing is, too, like Princess Day, well, what if, like us, what if you have a boy and a girl and they're not both going to want to do Princess Day? And then is there going to be option for like Princess and Pirate Day? Or like
whatever happened to just doing what you wanted to do when you were in the park?
I feel like this is
the ultimate hand-holding thing. And then they kept saying for Disney pros, there's no way in hell I'm using this app.
No.
There's no reason for me to use this app.
This is for the
This is for
family
people who have
that's
never been here before,
Yep.
whose travel agent sucked, and they couldn't get the things they wanted to do or informational things they want to do. I don't see anything here
that's new and innovative.
That's innovative on any level. Literally, touring plans is $10 a year. 12. What is it? $13 a year. And Lynn works and his team works his butt off on this, and I just, it's like they're just copying him. And I know that they have the right to because they're Disney and he doesn't own Disney content, but even just to say optimizing, that's got to be a jab. That's a jab, right?
Yeah.
That's a jab.
Do they have screenshots? I'm trying to look it up over
Yeah,
here.
they do. Not a lot, but so then it goes on to say, Disney Genie can also send you real-time tips and updates, including recommendations for experiences that things you'll love,
So it's like
helping you navigate the theme parks with added convenience and comfort. If you don't want to worry about making reservations in multiple steps, Disney Genie will even take care of that for you. That's kind of cool. But like, so what
what
we
do you
just
mean
like,
making reservations?
I think this is going to be something that has people on the back end doing things. I don't think this is necessarily. I think it's going to be like a. So the way I'm thinking of it is, think about like a. So you type into the Genie app, logged in, and there's someone who receives your request and tries to work on it for you. You see what I'm saying? Versus going on the
Yeah.
My Disney Experience app and everything's automated. This represents yet another way we are using creativity and innovation to connect guests with the stories and characters they love and to help them make lasting, magical memories with the family and friends they cherish most. Over the past several years, Disney parks have become more seamless and enjoyable through our other digital offerings, such as mobile food ordering, the Disney Play Parks app, which nobody uses, online check-in, and so much more. But none of that stuff
but
ever
that's
works.
all in My Disney Experience.
But
too.
none of that stuff works. Like, how many times have we gone to check into a resort, and even us who know how to do it, who have our Magic Bands linked, who will get the room text, we'll show up to the room with our Magic Band that they sent us, because when we do this, we always use the one they send us.
Yep.
Scan the key, never works.
Yep.
They need to like fix what already doesn't work instead of adding something else to make it more complicated for people. They're doing too much. They're like you said, they're trying to simplify it, but it's making it more convoluted. Because now you're gonna have people going up to guest relations and being like, "Hey,
this app works, but this doesn't." Do you think My Disney Experience will be phased out? Because I'm looking at the video that they released at IAPA today, and it looks like it shows you all your fast passes listed here, and you can modify all your experiences, and you can also make mobile orders.
maybe."
So is this like the new My Disney Experience?
If that's the case, that makes more sense. But couldn't you just add like a chat feature
they have that.
on my Disney Experience?
Yes.
So what is this? This is touring plans. They're just taking the idea. I don't know,
If you
Lynn.
change your mind, they can re-optimize your day.
Lynn, if you're listening to this, call your lawyer.
I feel like they're trying to spread, like, I might plan a royal treatment day, which is what they call it, and you might too, but it's going to tell me to see Cinderella in the morning and you in the afternoon to try to spread people out, and maybe that's what they're trying to do to make the overall guest experience a little smoother.
So they're really, but the wait time's not going to change.
Right.
Like if they tell you to go at 2:00 versus 2:30, that doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
I don't know. I can't get a finger on what this is. It's just so weird to me. And it was weird to me when it came out. I remember when they announced it at D23 because I was writing for Inside the Magic at the time. And
They can't possibly have this and My Disney Experience.
that
Because
just
it's got
seems
wait
so
times in
strange.
here. It's got, I don't know. It's a pretty interface. I mean, it looks nice.
Yeah, it looks nicer than My Disney
My
Experience.
Disney Experience is janky as heck, but
Now, so let's say this does replace My Disney Experience. Do our Magic Bands carry over?
I sure as heck hope so.
Because I have 120 of them over there, literally, and I don't want any of those to not work. So is that a
Well,
thing?
Who knows?
All right. Is there anything else you want to talk about from the news and such? Kermit's back.
Mm-hmm.
It's exciting.
That is very exciting. They showed the Spider-Man ride vehicles today.
That's
was
what
cool.
it was. I knew there was something. I haven't seen it yet. Does it look cool?
They seem to be moving full steam ahead on Avengers Campus. Meanwhile, Tron and Remy kind of slowed down.
But like, why? Because Disneyland's not even open yet.
Right. But maybe they're taking advantage of no guests in the park and being able
Maybe.
to work 24/7.
That's a smart move. I mean, that's
I don't blame
how I
them.
would be handling it. Where was that picture?
I do not know. I believe
Can
I
you
saw
find
it
it?
on
'Cause I haven't-
Twitter on Blog Mickey is where I saw everything.
I'm on Blog Mickey's website right now, which is where I'm getting all my news from now on. So I just wanted to shout out touring plans. They even have a crowd calendar, and they actually have free stuff for 2 days, which is pretty cool. Let's see. Just go to subscribe here to touring plans. The internet out here is terrible. It's non-existent. Let me see if you can find it. Let me know. And
That's
the touring
very
plan stuff
similar.
will give you a crowd calendar. It will. Oh, they actually have stuff for Disneyland and Universal and Cruise Line. Cruise Line seems like a weird thing. I'll be honest. That doesn't make sense to me. So a 1-year subscription to touring plans is $15.95. I mean, why would you go with Disney stuff that isn't going to be as accurate? I mean, we can't say that
I
because
was gonna say it's coming directly from Disney.
Well,
I don't know that it wouldn't
it's
be
not even
as
that. I mean, it's not that it's not accurate. It's just like it's going to be the Disney-fied version. They're like, ooh, make sure you don't miss this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, be our guest versus going to Pecos Bill because they're going to want to get money from you. I don't know, man. I just ever since that came out, it's bothered me. And I actually thought it was dead because we hadn't heard anything else about it, and then seeing it again was kind of strange. All right, let's get to these listener questions real quick. Oh, those look cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now, those are the ones that are going to be like based just on your hand, right? You're going to
Yes.
use your own hand
In
movements.
theory, yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Let's
Fireworks
see.
are starting in 8 minutes too, by the way, if we want to go.
Oh,
step
really?
out
Okay.
there.
Let's wrap through these real quick. There's actually only one that I want to get to. Yeah, there's only one I want to get to. This comes from Ryan Kramer. He says, would love to hear your takes on how Disney leadership has handled the current reality. Oh.
Huh.
Oh,
we
boy.
actually talk about this a lot amongst ourselves.
Okay, where do we start? Let's start with Bob Iger leaving, okay? From what I understand and have heard, that was the Millennium Falcon that just fell, everyone. I think so. So from what my understanding of it is Bob Iger kind of got a heads up from the people, because Bob Iger has
China.
worked closely with China. Worked closely with China, doing Shanghai. And so from what I have heard, which could be rumor, it could be true, he kind of got a heads up that this coronavirus thing is way more serious than people are letting on. And he kind of wanted to step down on a high note. So the high note would be launching Disney Plus and having that be a massive success.
Knowing that he was about to leave either way.
Yeah, either way. So the Fox acquisition, that was a big deal too. So his two high ends were, the $70 billion Fox acquisition, which they could afford that, but not to keep cast members, but we'll get to that later. And then launching Disney Plus, which was several $1 billion to launch that. I would imagine. Could be less, but it seems like all the infrastructure they would need for that would be rather expensive. So, and then they bring in Bob Chapek, which is, I've met the guy. He was nice enough, but it's with a company like Disney, you have to have someone that's a creative behind the wheel. Now, Bob Iger wasn't necessarily a creative, but he had a vision for what he wanted to do with the company.
And he was still a people person, whereas
Yes.
Chapek is just
He's not.
business. It's bottom line.
It's like putting the accountant as CEO. Like, it's just, he has a lot
have
of
the warm fuzzies that when you see Iger.
To be fair, though, I don't think Michael Eisner had the warm fuzzies either. But he was
But he got
dedicated
him in shape
and understood what the company was.
and what people wanted from it.
Out of it. I mean, when I always say this, when you see how the Walt Disney World itself property changed from Ron Miller to Michael Eisner, it is a complete 180. Literally everything except the two monorail resorts, and the campgrounds, and the Disney Village, Epcot. Everything past that, including all the resorts, up to Toy Story Land and the Riviera Resort, were all Michael Eisner.
So you think if Iger was still here, we'd be seeing the entertainment cuts, or we'd be seeing more socially distanced shows? But also remember, before COVID, weren't they also cutting a lot of the entertainment, like the band in Africa at Animal Kingdom that people were so upset about?
Yeah, Bob Chapek.
And that was all Chapek. So he was doing this before COVID.
Yeah.
But so many people, what's special is that Disney also has this kind of entertainment. Like, this is unique to them. You don't go to Six Flags and see a Broadway level show. Like, it's just so many things that make Disney unique. Like somebody we were talking to today said they weren't coming back until it felt like Disney again.
Yeah. And I think that's a lot of people.
Because it doesn't right now. I mean, half the stores are closed right now in the parks.
Which is insane to say.
It's weird.
It's hard to find merchandise at Disney World right now.
You can't eat if it's after like 3 o'clock. Quick serve closes. They're open from like 10 to 3 or 4. So if you want to eat after that, I hope you have a dining reservation. But good luck getting that because they're still at 25% capacity.
But they're doing that themselves.
Right.
We're in Florida.
Florida's lifted
We're
a lot of these restrictions.
And so you can't say you're not making... Now, whether people feel comfortable or not doing that at this point, that's a personal choice.
Right.
But if you're a business and you're very clearly about the bottom line, especially this CEO, very clearly about the bottom line. Open the restaurants up. I mean, I can count since the parks reopened 2 times we've been to Oga's.
Yeah.
Because we can't find a reservation.
Yep. I mean,
there's just nothing.
Even something as simple as a popcorn cart. The 2 popcorn carts that are open to Hollywood Studios are slammed every day. We get in line. There's usually at least 10 people ahead of you. There's 2 popcorn carts that are just sitting there desolate, not opened. Like, I just don't understand. It's going to kill you that much to pay that $8 or $10 an hour cast member.
But like you said, it's busy. It's not like there's not a demand.
Right.
Like the demand's there. Every time you go up to any quick serve anything except ice cream for whatever reason.
There's usually people waiting outside for their order to be ready because you can't go in unless you have an order that's ready. And it's just...
ABC Commissary. We walked by the other day and it's slam packed. There's no social distancing happening there.
No.
They're just... because they're not letting you in. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So let's go back to the leadership, right? So everything comes from the top down. Everything. Like if you're going to credit Bob Iger with the success, you have to credit Bob Chapek with the failures.
Mm-hmm.
They are they're completely messing this up. The fact that Universal, right down the street,
and rolling like they are,
and they're at a loss too, but it's because they have to be for COVID restrictions. They have to be at 25%. But they're doing it way better.
They've hit capacity every single weekend the last couple weekends.
This reservation thing is garbage. Yep. It's also I have been saying, you and I both had, there is no way that those parks are at 25%.
No.
There's no chance.
We know what slow actually looks like, and we haven't seen it.
It ain't slow. We haven't seen it in months. When the parks first reopened, yes.
It was great.
It was desolate. But those days, it was harder to get a friggin' park pass, remember?
Because they were actually limiting.
There'd be days that you could look and there'd be nothing. Now, you can get a park pass. I had this happen to me the other day. I was walking into Hollywood Studios, and I thought I'd booked a park pass, but I saw my Disney experience. It was actually Evan's park pass, but I thought it was mine because it was my app. I just wasn't thinking. I go to scan it. It turns blue, and I'm like, I have a park pass. I looked it up. Evans. I was like, crap. So I step back, pull up the website, get a park pass, standing at the park at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Got a park pass. That wasn't happening at the beginning of COVID.
No.
You'd have to do it a week out. Remember, we didn't get to go to Hollywood Studios for like a week until after the park opened. We went one time, opening day. And after that, we couldn't find anything for like a week. Remember?
Yep. And I think this whole no park hopping is, at least for annual pass holders, they're not doing anything. Universal closed Volcano Bay for the winter, which is understandable. November to March, they're closing it. But they're giving us 3 extra months on our pass because of it. Because Disney
still has
Disney's
nothing.
like, well, if you stick with us, we'll give you a month. Like,
but
wow.
Remember this when it was first, when they were adding the months from COVID?
Yeah.
Guys,
how many hours?
16 hours is how long we spent on the phone. In a week, we spent 16 hours with Disney on the phone.
Be hung up on by cast members.
You'd answer the phone and they'd be like, hey, so you'd call the annual pass people. And you'd go, hey, I need my annual pass fixed. Okay. And this would be after waiting for 2 hours on the phone. Literally. I'm not being dramatic at all. And Holly will stop me if I am.
That was a low day. 2 hours.
Yeah. They'd answer the phone. You'd go, hi, we're on the phone for 2 hours. I'm trying to get my annual pass fixed from the COVID stuff, lockdown. It's about to expire. I need this because my daughter's birthday is August 16th and we're going in a week. And it needs to be fixed before that, because if it's not, then it's expired, and I don't want to pay for something
you could
that
renew.
you said you were going to. Oh my God, that you guys said you were going to give me, and they'd be like, I understand, but we can't help you. You need to call these people. Okay, well I'll connect you, and one or two things would happen. You would then be on hold for another 2 hours, or the transfer would hang up on you. You'd have to start all over again. I'm not kidding. This is not. I'm not being dramatic. I'm not speaking in hyperbole. This is legitimately what would happen.
It was
Then you get finally
infuriating.
on the phone with the other person. They would say, I don't know why they transfer you to me. They're the only ones that can do this. If you
Or
can
we
you can
don't
call
see
guest
your
services.
pass.
Oh, that was the best one. I don't see you don't have an annual pass. No, I promise I do. I promise. And it was just a nightmare. And like the fact that Disney is Disney is too big. They have I think people think of Disney as this one massive corporation that is all on the same page. You can literally have a question. Ask 3 different cast members who do the same thing. You will get 3 different answers.
Yep. Whereas Universal has outshined Disney tremendously with all of this. You'd call them and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, let me fix that for you." Or you'd go to guest services, they'd have you fixed in a few minutes. Like,
it's unreal. I
Yeah.
mean, like Disney was the leader in all this, and they're struggling to keep up.
but let's keep cutting more people.
Let's get to that. So, at first, I commended Disney for about 6 minutes because they were cutting the executive pay to keep
Yeah.
people furloughed. That lasted until the parks opened.
Much like our company did that we were with.
Yep, they held on as long as they could.
Yep.
Um,
And that says a lot. That's huge that a executive be willing to take a pay cut to keep people afloat. Like that's
I don't like the fact when people go like, they're just executives, they make a lot of money anyway. Okay, yes, they do make a lot of money, but just
they
like
might-
you,
they still need
their
that
life is
paycheck.
adjusted to that because
Right.
their life they need that money.
Right.
Just because they have a lot of money doesn't mean that
They're living
their
at the same
their life isn't as valid, and
Right.
what their life isn't as valid as someone who works paycheck to make ends meet. They're
Right.
both valid. I mean, it just is. I'm sorry. Like you cannot agree with me, but just because someone like I remember when they were saying like Robert De Niro was only going to make $50 million this year if he was lucky, and I'm like, that's a lot of money, yeah. And everyone's like
him,
everyone
that's
rolls their
not.
eyes, but it's not even to him. If it costs you $60 million a year, you're $10 million in debt now. Could you imagine being
Mhm.
$10 million in debt?
No.
I mean, not in debt, but like you're dipping into whatever money you have.
Right.
You're not making money, and that's just an example. I don't know if Robert De Niro needs to make $60 million a year, but I'm sure it's probably close.
But anyway, a few months later, we're restoring the executive pay.
And I was like,
Few
that's a
weeks.
good sign.
Uh-huh.
Things are going in the right direction.
A few weeks
The
later,
the week later, a week later,
25,000 layoff.
and it hasn't stopped. It's like every day there's more.
Yep.
25 was I think they did 150,
That
200,000.
just looks so bad.
That is such a bad look.
Yep. You care more about your executives at that point. And the fact that Chapek spoke on the earnings call the other day and didn't mention a single word about this,
Shows
about
who he is.
layoffs. But then today, Josh Tomorrow, on a freaking supposed to be fun convention for amusement parks, starts off talking about the layoffs. He shouldn't have to do that.
He is the
Just-
chairman of parks and stuff, and so he has to,
Mm-hmm.
but the CEO should as well. And
He
the
just-
fact that he did it shows,
He's making his full paycheck.
yeah, he doesn't care. Which I don't know how you fire that many people and go to sleep at night.
He's just ruthless.
But it's just also not. You're Disney. Like you sell hope and joy and compassion, and you're doing all these things for inclusion and equality. Meanwhile, you're just ruining people's lives.
Yep. It's
People
gotten,
depend on it. It's bad here.
Yeah.
It's not like LA bad, but the homeless
The amount of
Population
moving
is
trucks and empty apartments
unreal.
we suddenly see here is
scary.
yeah.
I mean, you have a friend who works for Disney who's not going to be named.
Yep.
She got furloughed at the beginning of this and is now going, I don't know if I'm going to have a job because they can only
Had
furlough
to
me
throw
for a year.
everything in a storage unit because she couldn't get approved for a new apartment when her lease was up
Because
because
unemployment's
she's on
so little.
furlough. And now Disney's just keeping her essentially
In
in
limbo.
limbo.
No explanation. She had to move up to
But you're
A different
furloughed,
state.
so you have your
your main
health
gate.
insurance,
and
so
your
you
main
want to
gate,
hang on to
and you
that.
can go to the parks except Hollywood Studios.
Well, on Tuesday and Wednesdays, you can go to the parks.
Just oh my
So it's
God.
like,
Hey, I encourage every cast member to go use their 50% off right now. Buy as much special edition crap as you can and sell it online. I fully encourage you to do that because they don't care about you. And you're probably not going to have a job in March. So do this, make your ends meet. I'm encouraging it. I don't care. Holly's looking at me like, "Oh, it's not me. I don't work there." Don't do it, but I encourage you to do it. And if you do
no,
it,
you could lose your job for doing that.
yeah, you could. Don't do it. It's not smart. But
If you're one of the people that are let go and you know you'll be gone in December anyway.
Go for it. I know people who are in that boat. Go for it.
It's just, and there's no rhyme or reason. It's not like it's the newest cast members that you
It's
think
actually
they
the
go
opposite.
seniority.
It seems like they're cutting older people because they make
I think
more,
they're higher pay. Correct.
which is real shady.
Just makes me sad because Disney should treat their people better than this, but
It's a nightmare. And it's one of those things too where it's like you almost don't want to go and support it because it's so, I mean, like even little things like cashiers, there's not a lot. You go into any gift shop, there's a massive line because they have one cashier. And like tonight, we were at Hollywood Studios. There was one cashier in the major store at the end of the night.
yep.
I mean,
You
that's
have 4
insane.
registers, one
4 registers,
cashier.
one person. It's like Walmart.
Yep.
I mean, like when we're sitting here comparing Disney to Walmart, I mean, what's happening? They need to get Bob Chapek out of there.
The fact that
Out of there.
people-
And bring on Josh tomorrow. He
the
knows what he's
food-
doing.
The food bank lines here are out of control. I mean, it's just people can't eat. It's sad.
It's not good. It's
It's not
scary.
gonna get better anytime soon. I really don't think so.
I think it's gonna get better before it gets worse, but I think we're on the back nine
States
of
are
this.
starting to close down again today.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Luckily,
surpassed a
the
new
weather-
record in Florida this week.
But luckily the weather
yesterday.
here is not as bad. So the flu season's not as bad here typically
Yeah.
because the weather's like better, and apparently this thing reacts good, like positively for us, negatively for the virus.
And there's so many
And
people
UV
in the
light.
same boat.
But no one's doing anything. We've
Yeah.
had one $1,200 check.
That didn't get you through 8 months. That didn't. You don't have that still.
That check was gone the day we got it. I mean, I don't know what people are going to do. And it's one of those things where it's like you don't really want to support a business like that, but also not going makes it worse.
Yeah. People aren't buying things as much.
No, definitely
for
not.
sure.
I mean, there's like just stuff that's like limited release pass holder stuff that would be gone in
I
a
mean,
day.
2020 stuff was buy one get one free, and now they still couldn't sell it. So today it was 70% off.
Buy one,
And
get
it-
one free and 70% off, right?
No, just 70% off now.
Oh.
But this, you still get your whatever discount you might have.
So it's like 90% off if you're
So-
bad at math.
But like, you can't sell stuff that's 70% off is still sitting there on the shelf.
Everything has like a deal right now. Like,
I've never seen so many sales at Disney.
it's weird.
Of course, never anything I want, but
Yeah, right. It's just all 20/20 ears and shot glasses.
yeah,
It's dicey, man.
it's just
It's-
so strange.
Do you remember a few years ago I kept saying something's going to happen and Disney is going to stop because it's just too. Do you remember me saying this?
Yep.
I said it a bunch of times. I didn't think it was going to be a pandemic. I thought something like, this is going to sound horrible, but I thought something like, because this is back when shootings were like a daily
Yeah.
occurrence. I thought something like that would happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, it does make me nervous. They recently added security to Disney Springs,
Yeah.
which I guess you only have one way in, one way out right now. So why not test it right now?
Yeah, that's not true.
You do have to go through the temp screens to get in.
But you mean that kind of one way in, one way
Mhm.
out? Yeah. I haven't been there since they implemented that, but it's I don't know. That's what I thought would kind of bring the company down. I didn't think people coughing would bring the company down like this, and it's scary. And we have a guy in charge who's a madman, who would sell it off to save himself.
He's more concerned about the stock price than people's
than
livelihood.
than the company. I
Mhm.
mean, that's all it is. You know,
Yep.
if he can make $70 billion on selling Disney, he's going to do it. Which I don't know what Disney would be worth. It would probably be the first $1 trillion company
I think he
because you own
was
Fox and Lucasfilm and the parks and
he was great to have it. He's not all bad. He was great to have as like Iger's right hand man as far as having a business person, but I don't think he needed to be the person in charge.
I think you need a Walt and Roy,
Right.
Frank Wells, and a Michael Eisner.
Like Josh D'Amaro being the new Iger, and he's still there as the
I
Roy.
think that would be a good combo
Mm-hmm.
because then you have that dynamic, and Disney works really well with that dynamic.
Yep.
When I said it last week with Josh or with Evan on the show. If you really want a good Disney double feature, go watch Waking Sleeping Beauty and the
Yeah.
Howard Ashman documentary.
Why do you think?
And you'll see the dynamic of Michael and Frank and how that mirrored Walt and Roy and how every time there's like a solo guy, other than Iger, it doesn't really work out that well.
Why do you think?
Because you need those two things. You need a creative and you need someone who can kind of rein it in a little bit and go, we can't do this. This costs $20 billion.
Why do you think he wanted to make him look so bad? Do you think Iger was just more concerned about going out on a high note?
Yes.
Which he put in the work. He deserves it. But like Chapek kind of stepped right into the bear.
Right into a disaster. I mean, to be fair, this is
it's not his fault.
He would have done this regardless, I think.
Yeah.
I think
we said, look at the entertainment cuts before any of this. Like that was gonna happen either way.
The only things that made sense a little bit were when things at Hollywood Studios, which like I get getting rid of the citizens of Hollywood because
those are fun.
Yeah. Yes. But that park is so busy pre-COVID. You don't really need it.
It's just atmosphere.
I like them too. That's my favorite park.
Mulch, Sweat, and Cheers.
I never got to see them.
Oh, they were so fun.
It was Lynn's favorite group. But yeah, I think it's bad, and it's gonna get worse, and you're gonna see more layoffs.
Floridian Orchestra.
Like but there's no.
They're on a stage away from everyone.
But it's just because there's no one there.
They don't want people milling around the lobby.
I don't think it's that. I think there's just no one there. We've been inside the Grand Floridian a few times. There's no one there. Usually, like, I cannot wait till I see a day where it's coming, you guys. He's got to hang on a little longer. I promise you it's coming. Where there's too much money at stake. Like, that's when you hear people say this is all a conspiracy. I'm like, no way. These companies that control things behind the scenes with, if you want to get real conspiracy theory, that control things behind the scenes, all agreed to take massive losses.
No.
So we could get Donald Trump out of office, which thank God he lost, but holy crap.
No, he won, Brad.
I won. I promise you.
He won.
No one's ever seen a victory like this. Yeah, except Joe Biden. I don't want to get political, but there's another scenario where he's not all good, he's not all bad. He had things that he did very well, but he was essentially a crazy person.
Yeah, he's showing his colors.
Bob Chapek is Disney's Donald Trump, where it's just like, slow down, like just let it ride, just keep people furloughed, bring him back for a week, have him do like the amount of people that I know that got fired, or they either had a choice of you were doing this job, cool, now you're going to Toy Story Land, and they spent 50 years in one role learning how to do that one thing, which that's kind of on you.
Now you're going to work at Slinky Dog.
But now you're going to work Slinky Dog, and you have
outside
to
in the heat.
You're going to have to learn how to deal with heat when you were inside. You're going to have to learn with standing on your feet all day. You're going to have to learn on how to do all the safety precautions. You're going to have to learn how to group people. It's just makes you more valuable, but like the amount of people that I know that were there for a long time and now are not there, and the amount of people I know who have been there for a short amount of time and are still there, something doesn't add up.
Yep. And
that is horrific. If Disney you should be letting everyone go.
Should be first in, first out.
First in, first
out.
It was with me when I was the company I was with.
Yep.
I was the literal last person they hired.
Yeah. So of course you're.
And I was the first person cut. It makes total sense and it's fair.
Yep.
When do you think Disneyland opens?
Next year.
How long can Disneyland stay closed before they just don't reopen?
Thank God for Disney Plus. Like, I feel like that's what they've got to be saying in corporate.
Do you think they would ever just let it go?
No. I mean, you saw what they're doing with California Adventure for the holidays, right?
Yeah.
That they're opening that area for shopping, dining. I mean, take note from Knott's Berry Farm. That's what they're doing, and they sell out every week. So why not? I mean, it's just a little area, but people wait 3 hours to get into downtown Disney over there.
Gavin Newsom is destroying California.
But they're charging for parking.
Disney is?
Disneyland. $10.
Dude, you got to do what you got to do.
$10 for parking.
Even pass holders? Even pass holders? Hey man, go out there and
that's
people.
Minimal
people
fee that people still do it. It's not like $30.
People will do it, and I urge anyone who is a California local, when this starts, has it already started?
No.
When this starts, please go. If I could get a flight to California that's not expensive, I would go and support this. We need Disneyland back up and running. We need I'm going to get positive here. We need Disneyland to open because it is a beacon of hope to everybody. We need it opened. So go spend the $10 to go park. Go buy some stuff.
Yeah.
Support it. Get people their jobs back. And it's really hard, and it's hard for us all to want to support what they're doing right now because it is so tragic, and it's harsh, but it's reality. But we have to do it so these people can get their jobs back.
I just
we
hope
have to
that
get
they
Disneyland
can
open.
still do it because California just regressed a stage.
I don't understand the stages. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, they're the most impossible. Like you saw the guidelines they
it
gave
was like
them,
500
right? It was
people or 25%, whatever's
whichever
less.
is, yeah.
You can't operate a theme park with 500
You need more
people
than
in
that
it.
to run both those. Like
You need more. There's more than that working there
Mm-hmm.
at any given time. Like what?
But I'm glad this at least
Well, you know,
gives
Gavin
me hope
Newsom,
that they're giving these ideas to open up small areas and shopping and dining.
it's a really
and
smart idea.
yeah.
I just hope it's enough. I just hope it's enough. I miss Disneyland and I want it open.
We'll see.
So give your prediction for Disneyland's opening date.
March or April.
I was thinking like June, July.
Yeah, it's going to be. Could you imagine if our parks were still closed? I mean, we've been lucky. They've been open for 4 months already.
What is this person doing out here?
Don't know. They don't know how to turn their car around.
It sounds like somebody's learning how to drive a stick.
Near your car. That's
Near my
not
car.
good.
Fantastic. I don't know. It's just.
So are
Do
they
you
going
think-
to
do you
open
think they actually get the-
Disneyland then to do this kind of same thing?
Yeah, I just don't see anything getting better. But I will say, I was going to say anything better for a while, but I will say this. I heard this on Lynn's podcast too, that there is a second company working on another vaccine.
Yeah, it was announced today.
Was it today?
Mm-hmm.
And they have the ability to make 1 billion vials of this thing versus, they said like 3
It was
million or something.
95% effective.
Yeah. So we're going in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just we're going to have to wait it out the next few months. And luckily, hopefully,
Everybody can hang on.
everybody can hang on, and we're going to get through this. I think what needs to happen is I think the government needs to step up and take care of people, especially if they're shutting stuff down again.
That's my biggest problem with all of this.
Is you're going to have to help people. You can't tell people they can't work and then not offer any help. I know we're in that boat, and it's scary, but we are figuring it out. We're figuring it out, and it's getting dicey, but we're fortunate to live where we live because we can get a break from it, and it's right up the road and it's open, and just gotta hang tight. But we're gonna get through it. I think it's just like they said in Batman: the darkest always, or like they said in The Last Jedi. We'll keep it Disney. Like Leia said, if you only believe, hope is like the sun. If you only believe in it when you can see it, you'll never make it through the night.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a great line. So we're going to get through it, and I think Disneyland's going to get through it, and we're going to get back to better sooner than later. I did want to say let's say we're fast forwarding to August of next year. Parks are back to normal, back to regular capacity. When do you think that like the next big construction project happens?
Oh God. Well, I'm honestly surprised they didn't. I don't think if it wasn't racially charged, they would have canceled Princess and the Frog.
I think so too.
But because there's such a strong feeling one way or another from so many people, they don't
valid.
really have a choice. And I think there's a reason he said today, no, it's still going.
It's still happening.
Don't worry.
Well, this is also something if they had already committed to it, it's already budgeted.
But I think you're not going to see a lot for a while.
Yeah, I think you're going to have about a 4-year period of this is what it is. Enjoy and come back in a few years. The only thing I think that we might see would be a second, like another addition to the Skyliner, because I don't think that's that expensive and relatively quick to put up.
People love it.
And it's fun. I rode it for the first time since it opened yesterday, 2 days ago. And I really liked it. I forgot how fun it was. And it's going to be great on nights like this where it's cool.
Yeah. It wasn't bad in the heat.
Wasn't bad
I mean,
at
it
all.
wasn't
great, but
ideal.
but it's not bad by any stretch. I mean
any
monorails are worse.
Any help for the monorail is going to be put off. Those poor things.
Oh, that's what needs to change. Those monorails.
I mean, yeah, you painted the inside and changed the
but that
leather on the seat,
that
but that doesn't
make a
make
difference when
right.
it's going down the track.
So,
all right. Anything else? We're
no.
gonna go watch Sleeping Beauty. Holly's never seen it,
No.
and we're gonna go watch Sleeping Beauty and call it a night. So thank you for listening to this. Oh, also wanted to talk about the Patreon for a second. We launched a Patreon for this. There's 3 tiers: a Padawan, Jedi, and we grant you the rank of Master, but do not give you a seat on the Council tier. It's only good for one person. Then it's $12 a month. You get, if you do a $3 Patreon, you get access to bonus episodes. If you do the $5 Patreon, I think is what it is, the next tier up, you get bonus episodes and you get behind the scenes content. And if you are the only one, there's only one slot for the chosen one. If you were, and it's $12 a month, I believe. Try to keep it as cheap as possible. You get that one was just funny. I had to do that because of the name. You get all the things from the other 2 tiers, plus you get a personal shout out on every single episode of the show, and you get to choose show topics for me and Evan on Jedi Talk. So check that out if you're interested. Patreon.com/Jedi Talk. Follow me on Instagram at Florida Fun Brad, and I guess that's it. Holly, anything else you would like to say before we wrap this show up?
That's it.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you in the next show. Till then, may the Force be with you. You got it. Since Evan's not here, you got to say always. May the Force be with you.
Always.